Okay, question number 5 from homework 18. This one is, again, a little different from some of the first ones that we've done, but not that different. We need to figure out a way that we can rewrite this as a function that we know how to take the integral of. Okay? I see, when I look at this, that I've got x squared in the numerator, and I have x to the third minus 1 in the denominator. And that's the same as raising that to the first power, right? I could put that in parentheses and raise it to the first power. That doesn't change anything. So is that any different? And I'm just going to do a little side note over here. I don't know if we can see it. Is that any different from asking you to take the integral of 1 over x? That's an x to the first power, right? So if we could rewrite this in terms of something that looked more like this, we'd be on our way to solving this integral. So let's try to do that. I would like this to be the integral of 1 over u du, okay? So that means that I'm making my u be what's in the denominator here. So let's do that. U equals x to the third minus 1. So my derivative of u with respect to x is going to be 3x squared, okay? So du equals 3x squared dx. We're pretty close. Again, like on the last one, we don't have exactly what we need to make this work. I've got 1 over u, I've got x squared, and I've got dx, but I've got 3 times x squared dx in my du. So that means I have 3 times what I need, which means I have to divide this whole integral by 3. And that's the same as multiplying by 1/3. So the extra that you have in your du is going to go into the denominator of a fraction, and you'll wind up with 1 over 3 times the integral of 1 over u du. And now we just take that integral. So that's 1/3 times the integral of 1 over u. Well, we know that that's the natural log of the absolute value of u plus c. Okay? We have that extra constant there. So now we can just plug in what we had for u, and that will be our answer. So that's 1/3 times the natural log, I put extra parentheses in there, sorry about that, didn't mean to, natural log of the absolute value of x to the third minus 1 plus c. I should probably put an extra parenthesis there. You don't need those. Let me write it again without the extra parentheses. Don't need to confuse things. Yeah. All right, so 1/3 times the natural log of x to the third minus 1, the absolute value of that, plus c. So ignore this, that's just extra parentheses, don't pay attention to that. The actual answer, 1/3 times the natural log of the absolute value of x to the third minus 1 plus c. This is the part that you enter into WebAssign, and that will give you your correct answer. So once again, from the top, we were given a function that we couldn't really deal with, but if we rewrote it as 1 over u du, we could find that integral. So we did write as 1 over u du. That made our u be x to the third minus 1. Took the derivative of that, rewrote it as du equals 3x squared dx. Check to see what we had left over in our function after the 1 to the u d, or 1 over u du. That was this 3. We had an extra 3 left over. We had the x squared, we had dx, but we were multiplying it times 3 in our du, which means we need to multiply our whole integral by 1/3. We do that, take the integral, and then plug back in our u, and we have our answer.